On daylight, a motorist traveling on a remote highway in central Canada encountered a highly unusual aerial object. The object, described as a medium-sized, brilliant white, oval-shaped craft exhibiting a plasma-like luminosity, was observed hovering approximately 50 meters from the roadway at an altitude of less than 10 meters. The object engaged in a deliberate maneuver, projecting two beams of light downward onto the ground, in a methodical pattern suggestive of a scanning or search operation. According to his testimony, the first indication of an anomaly was an intense, white illumination reflecting off the tree line to his right, south. Initially assuming it was the lights of an industrial vehicle or a generator station, he slowed his vehicle. As he rounded a gentle curve, the source of the light became terrifyingly and exhilaratingly clear. Hovering silently just beyond the tree line, in a small clearing, was an object he could not identify. It was approximately 50 meters from the road and, critically, no more than 5 to 10 meters above the ground. Its proximity was the most shocking aspect. A perfect, symmetrical oval, like a stretched-out sphere or an elongated melon. It was not a classic flying disc with a dome. Estimated to be 8 to 12 meters in length and 4 to 6 meters in height. This qualifies it as medium-sized, larger than any consumer drone, but smaller than a commercial aircraft. The light was intense but not painful to look at. It did not flicker or strobe but was constant, akin to a welding arc but softer. The witness specifically stated it did not appear metallic. There were no visible seams, rivets, portals, or markings. Its state was described as shimmering or plasma-like, as if composed of energized gas or energy contained within a defined boundary. It emitted no visible heat haze. A complete and utter absence of sound, the object hovered and maneuvered without any roar of engines, whir of rotors, or hum of machinery. The ambient sounds of the wilderness, the wind, reportedly continued uninterrupted. The object was not static. From its underside, two beams of coherent white light, identical in color to the object's body, projected downward, striking the ground. These beams moved in a slow, deliberate, sweeping pattern, as if scanning a grid. The object itself maintained a perfectly stable hover despite this motion. After a moment of stunned hesitation, the witness, fearing the object would depart, fumbled for his smartphone. He managed to capture approximately 70 seconds of video footage through his windshield before the object, without any audible cue or visible propulsion mechanism, accelerated vertically upwards at an impossible speed and vanished into the upper atmosphere. The entire encounter lasted less than 3 minutes. The object could be surrounded by a sheath of ionized air, plasma, a phenomenon theorized to occur around craft traveling at high velocities or utilizing advanced propulsion systems. This sheath would scatter light, giving the object a glowing, non-solid appearance and potentially masking its true surface details. A more speculative theory suggests the craft itself is not a solid, manufactured object in the conventional sense, but a contained energy field or a form of matter in a plasma state that is temporarily stabilized and directed. This aligns with the descriptions provided by certain researchers, as noted in the scenario. The oval shape is aerodynamic but not optimal for atmospheric flight compared to a disc or a delta wing. This may suggest a design prioritizing something other than atmospheric efficiency, perhaps a multi-environment vehicle capable of both space and atmospheric travel. A system that ionizes the surrounding atmosphere and uses magnetic fields to propel it, creating thrust without moving parts. Such a system would likely produce a luminous plasma glow and operate almost silently. A purely theoretical system that manipulates gravitational fields. The light could be Cherenkov radiation or another form of energy emission resulting from this manipulation. The downward beams are clearly not for illumination, as the object itself was the primary light source. Their purpose was almost certainly active scanning. The object's behavior is the strongest indicator of purposeful activity. The low altitude, stable hover combined with a methodical scanning pattern is consistent with remote sensing or survey work. The beams could be pulsing laser beams to map the topography with extreme precision, even though thin vegetation. Analyzing the chemical composition of the soil, rock, and vegetation by measuring the reflected light across a broad spectrum. Less likely, but beams could be used to tractor beam particulates, microorganisms, or atmospheric gases into a collection system. The silent, instantaneous vertical ascent demonstrates acceleration and propulsion capabilities far beyond any known terrestrial technology, ruling out helicopters or vertical takeoff jets. Based on the location and behavior, several mission objectives are plausible. The Canadian Shield is one of the oldest geological formations on Earth, rich in mineral wealth. A non-human civilization with advanced technology might be surveying for specific rare elements or compounds not available on their world. Water is a key indicator of life and a critical resource. Scanning the aquifer systems and lake structures would provide vital data on the planet's hydrosphere. The beams could be collecting data on microbial life, plant matter, or atmospheric spores to study Earth's biosphere without direct contamination or interaction. Monitoring changes in the environment, such as pollution levels, deforestation, or magnetic field fluctuations, could be part of a long-term study of a developing or struggling planetary civilization. The probe, having completed its scan of that specific grid, then departed at high speed to return to a larger mothership in orbit or to transmit its data to a remote receiver. The witness's video, while shaky, is remarkably clear for a smartphone recording. Digital forensic analysis confirms it is authentic and has not been tampered with. When digitally stabilized, the movement of the scanning beams is revealed to be highly linear and systematic, not random. The light from the object does not bloom or scatter like a conventional light source. It appears to be a contained energy field, with a sharp gradient at its edges. This incident is not isolated. Reports of low-flying, glowing, oval or egg-shaped objects performing ground scanning operations have been documented for decades across the world, particularly in remote and resource-rich areas like Canada, Australia, and Siberia. If the extraterrestrial hypothesis is correct, this event is a data point in a vast, ongoing surveillance operation of our planet. The propulsion and energy systems demonstrated represent a physics beyond our current understanding, with potential revolutionary applications. The intent appears to be scientific and passive, rather than overtly hostile. However, unannounced surveillance by an unknown party is inherently a concern. The encounter on Provincial Road 325, as described by a credible witness and supported by digital evidence, presents a compelling case of a true unidentified aerial phenomenon. The object's plasma-like appearance, silent anti-gravity performance, and deliberate scanning behavior defy conventional explanation. While the possibility of a secret human technology cannot be entirely eliminated, the weight of the evidence suggests a non-human origin. The most plausible explanation, within the extraterrestrial hypothesis framework, is that the witness observed an unmanned autonomous probe of extraterrestrial origin, conducting a specific scientific survey mission, likely focused on the geological or biological resources of the region. This event should be treated not as an isolated mystery, but as a significant data point in the ongoing and systematic study of a phenomenon that represents the greatest mystery of our time.